I thought I might start and look back at the core of our business and what it is we're doing, because I think in the business of Hot Springs, we look at each of our businesses, and it is so broad. The hot spring industry is so broad that each individual business has to decide what it is they're doing and then be able to deliver on what it is for their customers and what it is for themselves. So it's really going back to looking internally. So for the last couple of years, and we finished actually at the end of last year, but we've been working with a company called Design to Business, and it was really focusing back on getting our team aligned and what it is, making sure that all of our team members, and we've got 250 staff, but that everybody is knowing what we're doing, what we're trying to do. So it's really our people deliver the experience that we are able to give to our customers, and without full alignment, it's very hard to deliver. So I thought I'd just show this, and in our case, we looked at a couple of the things that we're doing, and for example, our purpose. What is it that we're trying to do? And we're saying we're trying to create experiences where people can relax in nature and connect with the deep well of their being. So at the heart of the hot spring experience is that nature connection, or the hot spring experience that we're delivering. Obviously, if you're in the middle of Budapest and you're at the disco, you're not creating it. It's not about nature. It's not about, you are in the water and it's creating a space for that high energy, but it's a very different energetics to what our core is, which is that nature connection. And what we're doing as an organisation as we move forward, it's down here. It's creating our core competency and what is it that we're good at and what we're trying to be good at as an organisation, and that's creating and sharing diverse hot springs and wellbeing experiences that beautifully integrate nature, culture and community. And in our case, we've felt that because Australia is so young in the hot spring space, I mean, look, the reality is the Indigenous people, Aboriginals in Australia, have been bathing and using hot waters for 50,000 years. So it's probably one of the oldest bathing cultures, but it's not. That's basically we're in an era now which is not, you can draw a few little things from that, but basically we are creating a culture in the hot spring space. And the one unique thing about Australia, which is different to, probably the United States is quite similar, but it's a real mix of cultures. It's not like Japan, which has got an ancient culture, or Hungary or Europe or France, or where the cultural traditions really drive, on one side it's a huge strength, on the other side it's a weakness. That you are actually bound by these expectations that the culture delivers. In what we want to do is try and grab the best elements from different cultures and have a place where our guests, which a lot of them are domestic, but they will come from a sort of the Russian community or the Chinese community, or they're living in our region, that they can come there and they can have an experience that they feel like they're back at home in their parents' country or their birth country, and they had an experience which they remember. And yet, so it might be a reflexology walk, for example, which the Chinese love, and yet then they'll go and see the cold plunge pools from Russia, or the saunas, or the other things. So they actually had this sort of global bathing journey and experience, which draws the best elements from cultures around the world. One of the other things which we are doing is really trying to say, as I think there's a certain responsibility you have when you're in our case, when we have our hot spring, we always said that from the beginning we wanted to be a leader in the space, I suppose, and take on the responsibility of what it is to be an icon product in our region. And because it's got hot springs, really have the unique ability to act as a magnet. And in fact, this place is a very good example of that. It's, Bad Auburn, here's the bath. And so the whole town is delivered around around that experience. And the way that we do it, trying to say that we are an icon, is actually embracing all the community around us and not trying to work as an island, but actually work as a bridge to the community. And the hot springs are the connector, are the things that will drive our growth. when you're talking about the multipliers, economic multipliers, we've got somewhere between 5 and 7 times economic multiplier. And that's mainly because so it's a very big economic multiplier, so we're adding about somewhere between 100 and 120 million, thereabouts, to our local community every year. We are a day visitation place at the moment, so we're not capturing every dollar, but this little map here shows in our region, this wasn't like that before we started, but actually that's an indicator of the overnight stays in our region. Our place is right here. It now represents 24% of all overnight stays in our region, as a tourist region, are coming in, and they're coming because of us. Now, they're spending the dollars. They give us, I think our average spend is nothing like what Ingo is able to get. I think we're about $65, per person. But so we're not getting the 150. I'd love to get that, but for our style of business, our style of business will never get there. But it doesn't matter because it's not the target. But what the important thing is that you find that they're going to they'll spend some money at our place, but they're going to be spending it at accommodation. They'll be spending it at the other activities around the region. And so what we do, and it's really, it's great for community building. It's good for our goodwill in the community. But it's also good for our business, is that we package up with lots of people. So we do a stay and bathe package. We've got, 91 packages that we have with people just in our region. So stay and bathe, ride and bathe, maze and bathe, dolphin swims and bathe, massage and bathe, dine and bathe. In fact, we have massage and bathe packages with other spas around our region. They don't have the hot springs, but we say, well, look, we don't have to take every dollar. We don't have to have every massage that comes into the region, but come and bathe at our place because it really enhances the experience of the region, and it really helps grow our business, but the whole regional business. So that collaboration, I think, is really important, and hot springs have got that ability to be the magnet for the area. A lot of people like to say, I want to grab every dollar that comes through the door, and my job is to capture every dollar. I don't think it's necessary. I think you can, if you're a good operator, you can open up in other places and say that we will capture that dollar, but do more packaging in the region to make sure that your whole region flourishes, because you are the magnet. What it does do to help us as well is in some of these stats, which I put down here, which is just our digital marketing statistics. Because we have all these packages, and one of our requirements with all the people that we package with is that they put live web links back to us, and we link back to them, so we're all being seen as, being much more visible on the web. And it's for SEO and so forth, it's huge. We get unique visitors to our website, 5,800 a day, and that continues to grow. Facebook, 71,000, Instagram, 21,000 likes, and followers. And these kind of things are how we market. It's how we communicate nowadays. And the experiences that I showed before, which were the mud and clay experience and the ice cave and those ones, which are about social sparring. It is trying to address an environmental issue we have, which is hot days, but it's doing it in a fun way that enables people to communicate. That is our marketing. That people will be able to take a photo of each other with lovely clays over and having fun, or having frozen hairdos and just doing this hot-cold, and they're actually doing hot-cold therapy. They're hopping into cold, hopping into hot. It's great for blood circulation, it's great for their general health and well-being, but it's great for our marketing, because they suddenly take photos of each other, and so you're selling an experience.
Charles, 5 minutes left.
Fantastic. I just wanted to touch a tiny bit on. We've done some global best practice research, which I've visited quite a number of people from here, and John, you gave us a great help in the European part of the research. And really, at the end of the day of that research, there's a whole lot of depth in it, and various things. What I'm pulled out here is just an example of the things that we incorporate in a bathing experience for you to be at the peak profitability. This doesn't mean that you can't have single elements of this where you've got just thermal waters, or you can't be a nature path, and it comes back down to that intent of what your business is. But if you're trying to create an experience with a great commercial hot springs that's delivering returns for your investment, not just a return for your community or return for your your smaller business, it needs to incorporate a number of things. And you've got thermal water bathing, so there's a variety of what thermal water can be delivered in. So it can be thermal showers, it can be thermal pools, it can be cave pools, but there's many different areas in there. Temperature, which is playing with temperature outside of the bath. So that can be all of like Marion's amazing saunering, what they do so beautifully here in particularly Germany and Scandinavia and other parts of Europe. But the saunering culture is incredible. So saunas and steam rooms and playing with temperature, hot and cold, and touch, which is all your spa, massage. I say spa, but that's a lot of us think of spa like that. The day spa, which is really your massage and tactile modalities, and then relaxation. I just want to share one of those. And relaxation is those sleeping rooms, giving people the ability to be able to sleep and have that as part of our core experience, because that is in that well-being and wellness delivery, giving people a chance to heal themselves. They need to slow down and sleep, and it's done so beautifully in Europe. I mean, it's just part of the program. What they do really nicely in China and Japan in that space, and it's actually a really good, I think it's got the future, one great growth area. So have these great relaxation sleeping lounges which you can sleep in, but they're open 24 hours a day, and you get 50, 100 chairs in 100 lounges in one room, and they're like little hotels. But you get 100 in one room. You've got people snoring together and whatever. But, it's not about romance. It's not about, it's about just being there with a group of friends, social, family, whatever. But it's got a real price point, and you suddenly turn your day lounge into a night hotel, and you can add another 100, 150 people coming through your place, get another, multiply, you can double their revenue just from those people, and you get the meals, and you get the stay and everything else at a very low, approachable level. So that's something which we are in the process of introducing at our place. We've got a number of those lounges which we're putting in. It'll really improve our revenue, but it's also going to give people that ability to sleep, and not just at night, but sleep during the day as well, and utilise your resource. And the idea of putting these up was actually meant to be thought teasers for us to be able to tease out the conversation, but I think we might have to take them to lunch because they've only got about 35 seconds, Marion? No, I've got one 2 minutes. There you go. So, but we are going to be looking at marketing later on, so we'll be pulling that out later on. But what I wanted to think of is, when I was writing this little list, was what are the areas where we can actually work together to help collect data, to help collect our experiences, and which will really help us understand the delivery and help us in the design work of our business. And things like, in our case, we're doing, web-based bookings. All of our bookings for bathing are done online to save Ingo's issue of people driving an hour and a half and find that they can't even get in the place. So we book them online, and it gives our staff the ability to say, look, I can book you in, at this time. We can book you in tomorrow, right now, so you can actually deliver an outcome for your clients straight away. Web-based booking, but probably even more so aligned with that, and it's something which we're struggling with. It's done quite well in places that Marion does it well here. Is just your locker keys and electronics, getting that electronics and IT into the experience. We want to introduce time-based bathing. So like Ingo, so you're not booked out at 9:30 in the morning from 9 to 9:30.
Actually, just to verify, we have 50% of people book in electronically.
Okay.
But then the other ones are driving, and because we have we have a service already booked, that means a treatment of some sort.
Yeah.
That's when we have to send them away. And because we only see 50% approximately of people really booking, that's our problem. 50%. The rest comes in right in advance.
And that's part of our, the evolution of the industry. I mean, there's all the entertainment industry, more and more bookings online. It's just the way that, and everybody's getting used to it. You book your airfares online, but that's just the evolution of that is a global evolution. We're all getting used to doing it. So, but time-based is a really good one for us, and we need to be able to set that up better, and it'd be really nice to see what other people are doing in that space and find out who's doing it the best. And it's where that sort of collaboration, you can help each other, finding who does that best. Because if we can offer people, come in and stay you can get up to 3 hours, or you stay the whole day. you only pay 70% of the total day price that if you stay for 3 hours, gets you turning over more, get higher returns on your space, you're utilising your asset.
Very quick suggestion on this for the time-based meeting. French thermal places have partnered with ski resorts softwares, so that and there's a company called Ski Data, and whenever you go through they have the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
Absolutely. So a ski pass is the same thing as a.
Yeah, well, that's just the kind of collaboration. You wanted to, and then you share it with all of us. Like what are the best ones? Resource management, that's another issue, which is just how are we looking after our water as it comes out? What are the rules and regulations for our country? We need our government to understand it better so we can get best practice in that space. So we're looking after the resource so we don't overmine it. It's a big issue in China's got huge issues. They just don't, it's places just run out of water. Their whole area, they're just over mining it. But getting that so we are actually respecting our resource is a really important one, as well as the disposal of it. How are we all disposing of it in the best way? Mark is going to talk about that later on at the Baby Biome project. How can we deliver the best healthy experience for our clients? Some places there's no chlorination, no sanitation. How are they doing it, and are they doing it correctly? Is it actually safe, and is it going to meet health requirements, or are they just doing it because tradition said you can? And therefore you could have an outbreak, you can have problems with health. And most of us who want to be here in the business for a long time and have a good business, we need to be delivering a safe bathing outcome, but with the nicest, most natural connection in the experience we can. OH&S, they're great statistics for us to think about sharing. Slips, trips, falls, faints, the things that happen to any of us who are operators here will know that that's a real issue. You do get fainting. People are in hot water. They do overheat. They may not drink enough water. They do. And it'd be great to share stats and how are we managing that? How are we doing it to reduce it? And that's an ongoing thing. Are we feeding them honey? Or are we putting more drink stations around? Are we doing just little things to help communicate with our clients and reduce those slips and trips? What are we doing with flooring? I mean, what is the best way to stop slipping? Because we keep on some areas we're told that we've got the best slip rating tiles in the world, and it doesn't, and people slip and you go wash it. And so little things like that. It's not perfect in it. And then scientific and academic research. So it's actually working with our academic institutions. James is going to speak later on about a research study which we've done just on with our clients, 4,000 clients who came. They did some study on about why are they coming, what are they looking for, what are the health outcomes, what are the there's a whole lot of great data. But that can feed back into design. You share that. But we want all of our industry to grow, and you grow by sharing that kind of thing and making sure we deliver the best experience we can as an industry sector. And then
as it is already 12:05, what do you think? As you are chairing the marketing session, anyhow, maybe you can include what you have not yet mentioned in your marketing session?
I think that's fine. Yeah. This was more just as teasers, so if we keep notes and things think about that. I mean, we may even at the very end, after the last session, I think we've,
I don't know.
We may have a little bit more time of a wrap-up, and maybe that's there where we can think about if anybody's got certain specific items which we can think that we can share on and collaborate with, then maybe we can bring it back in the wrap-up, which will be after the last session. It's not actually on the official program, but I think everybody's here and staying, so, as long as it doesn't take us away from the pools for too long.
Right.
And I think that's it.
The audience.
Yeah.